this week a little movie that came out in 1989 called The Abyss. It's a blue-collar sci-fi film. I like Terminator, I like Alien, and I like the first Terminator sequel. I don't remember Avatar. I loathe Titanic. So there it is, folks. Send me your hate mail now. All the turmoil on the set. I read that Ed Harris punched him in the face. You hear these horror stories about him, but he usually has a group of actors that still work with him. Ed Harris's character, Bud, is falling into the abyss, and he just keeps falling, and they keep saying how many feet he's falling, and he's starting to type gibberish on his communicator. All of that stuff is just great. I mean, that's a Snidely Whiplash mustache if I've ever seen one. It's like, I'm the villain, I have a mustache. All right, we'll talk to you later. At your encouragement, steered myself over to Amazon Prime Video the other day and finally caught Midsommar. I was very entertained. I know it's kind of a controversial subject because I am a member of a lot of horror movie groups and on Facebook, and a lot of people are like, boring, piece of shit, you know, they hate it, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to watch what you like because this movie is awesome. It is a long movie. It is a slow burn, but I'm a fan of those type of movies. I've mentioned before, Ari Aster is the guy that directed Hereditary with Toni Collette, which is another slow burn movie. Ooh, I mean, it's a hard one. Very ominous, very slow, and a lot of dread. And I get the same from Midsommar. It's clearly an homage to a movie we're going to be covering later this season, which is The Wicker Man, basically dealing with an odd pagan religion in Sweden and some college students that go over there and do a little bit of an anthropological study. Insanity ensues. Oh yeah, it had been on my list. I was waiting for it to get to a streaming platform. I don't know. I've said it before and I'll say it again. There seems to be this little cabal of horror directors emerging that I'm very excited about. Those two, Jordan Peele, he is another that's just barnstorming with these great horror films. Well, if I needed another reason to hate James Cameron, I can give it to you. He enlisted Orson Scott Card to write the novelization. I don't know if you know anything about Orson Scott Card or have heard me rant and rave about him before. He's a science fiction writer. He wrote Ender's Game, which was a lackluster movie with Harrison Ford not long ago, but it was a very popular novel when it came out. He is a notorious homophobe, and if you don't believe me, all you have to do is Google his name and the word homosexual, and you will see a litany of propaganda out there that he has authored in his fight against homosexual agenda or whatever have you. I don't know. It's a lot of BS, and I've hated him ever since. I was glad when that movie failed. Yeah, just had to throw that out there. Had to get on my soapbox for a second. So not everything is great and hopeful in science fiction, and that includes Mr. Orson Scott Card.
You can't start the car. Johnny has the keys.